Welcome back, coin collectors and history buffs. Today, we're diving into the world of U.S. coinage, specifically the Washington quarter dollar from 1974. This seemingly humble quarter might just be hiding a secret that could make it worth a lot more than its face value. If you've ever wondered about the potential value of a 1974 Washington quarter or what makes it so special, you're in the right place. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why this coin is worth a second look. First, let's start with a bit of background. The Washington quarter has been in circulation since 1932, when it was introduced to honor the first President of the United States, George Washington. The design on the obverse of the coin features a classic portrait of Washington, based on a painting by Gilbert Stuart. On the reverse, you'll find the iconic eagle, which was designed by John Flanagan and has been a symbol of American strength and independence for decades. The Washington quarter has become a staple of U.S. currency, and since its introduction, millions of quarters have been produced, with numerous variations and mint marks along the way. In 1974, the U.S. Mint continued to produce the Washington quarter as part of its regular coinage, but what makes the 1974 Washington quarter unique? For starters, 1974 marked an interesting year in U.S. history, with many important events taking place both politically and culturally. However, when it comes to coinage, there was nothing particularly extraordinary about the year itself. Or so it seemed. While the 1974 Washington quarter was widely circulated and produced in large numbers, it is the special characteristics of some of these coins, particularly their condition and any potential minting errors, that make them so desirable to collectors today. In fact, finding a 1974 quarter in pristine, uncirculated condition or with rare minting errors can turn this seemingly ordinary coin into a true treasure. The value of any coin is often influenced by several factors: the condition of the coin, the rarity of the minting, and the presence of any unique errors or variations. With the 1974 Washington quarter, there are a few key things collectors look for that could significantly increase its value. The first, of course, is the condition of the coin. Coins that are well preserved and show little to no signs of wear are always worth more than those that have been heavily circulated. A 1974 quarter that looks as though it just came off the minting press will fetch a much higher price than one that has been through years of handling and circulation, but condition alone isn't enough. For a 1974 Washington quarter to reach its highest value, it needs to have some form of rarity, and this is where minting errors come into play. One of the most valuable features of collectible coins is the presence of minting errors, which occur when something goes wrong during the production process. These errors can range from minor design misalignments to more significant flaws that make the coin stand out from the rest. In the case of the 1974 Washington quarter, there are a few specific minting errors that collectors are especially eager to find. One such error is the double die strike, where the design is struck onto the coin more than once, causing certain details to appear doubled. On the 1974 quarter, this is typically visible in the lettering on the obverse side, such as the word Liberty or the motto, "In God We Trust." The doubling effect can make the letters look blurry or out of focus, which is exactly what collectors look for when hunting for errors. If you happen to find a 1974 Washington quarter with a double die error, you could be holding onto a coin that's worth far more than you think. Another rare error to look out for is the off-center strike, which occurs when the coin is not perfectly aligned with the die during the minting process. This can result in a quarter that has part of the design missing or misaligned. While these errors are not as common, they are highly sought after by collectors and can increase the coin's value significantly. If you find a 1974 Washington quarter with an off-center strike, it could make your coin collection worth a whole lot more. Even without errors, the 1974 Washington quarter can still be worth a considerable amount if it's in excellent condition. Coins that are classified as MS-65 or higher, meaning they are in mint state and show no signs of wear, are far more valuable than those in lower grades. If you happen to come across a 1974 quarter in pristine, uncirculated condition, you could be sitting on a valuable piece of U.S. history. But what about the overall demand for the 1974 Washington quarter? Despite being produced in large quantities, certain versions of this coin have become highly collectible because of their historical significance and potential for minting errors. Coin collectors are always on the lookout for quarters from this era, especially those that have been well preserved or feature rare errors. The 1974 quarter, with its rich history and potential for rare variants, has found a special place in many collections. Now, you're probably wondering, just how much could a 1974 Washington quarter really be worth? Well, most of these quarters are worth only their face value, around 25 cents, if they are in average circulated condition. However, the rare ones, especially those in uncirculated condition or with minting errors, can command a much higher price. If you're lucky enough to find a 1974 quarter with a minting error or in top condition, you could be looking at a coin worth an impressive $78,000. Yes, you heard that right, $78,000 for a single coin. This is the kind of find that can turn a regular coin collection into a small fortune. So, if you're going through your change or sorting through old coins, be sure to take a close look at any 1974 Washington quarters you come across. With their rich history, potential minting errors, and the possibility of finding a rare gem in your collection, these coins could be worth far more than you ever expected. Today, we're exploring a coin that many people may overlook, but could be sitting in your collection right now, the 1979 Washington quarter dollar. This coin might seem like an everyday find, but trust us, it has the potential to be worth far more than you'd expect. If you've ever wondered about the value of your old quarters, this video will provide the answers you've been looking for. The 1979 Washington quarter is part of a long-running series of coins that have been circulating in the U.S. since 1932. With George Washington's portrait on the obverse, this quarter is an iconic symbol of American history. The reverse side, featuring the eagle and the words E pluribus unum, has been a constant design for decades. But while most people may just see this coin as a regular quarter, there are certain factors about the 1979 Washington quarter that can make it incredibly valuable to collectors. In terms of design, the 1979 quarter doesn't stray too far from the traditional look that the Washington quarter series is known for. However, what makes the 1979 edition unique is that it was minted during a transitional period. The 1970s were a time of change for U.S. currency, and by the time the 1979 quarter was produced, the coinage system was adjusting to the needs of a rapidly growing economy. While these changes weren't immediately noticeable to the average person, they played a big role in determining the coin's eventual rarity and value. The first thing to understand about the 1979 Washington quarter is that it was produced in relatively large quantities. However, this doesn't mean that the coin's value is tied strictly to its availability. In fact, what truly drives up the price of this coin is its condition and any minting errors that might have occurred during the production process. You see, a large portion of the 1979 quarters that were released into circulation experienced wear and tear over time. Coins used in day-to-day transactions inevitably lose their value due to scratches, discoloration, and other forms of damage. This is why finding a 1979 quarter in near mint or mint condition is extremely rare, and highly valuable. So, what makes a 1979 Washington quarter worth more than face value? It all comes down to the unique features that can sometimes be found in these coins. One of the most valuable characteristics collectors look for in any coin, including the 1979 quarter, is the presence of minting errors. These errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process, and it can result in a coin that has a distinct, unusual appearance. For example, a double die error can cause parts of the design to appear doubled, which is especially noticeable on the letters and numbers on the coin. This type of error is highly sought after, as it gives the coin a unique look and makes it stand out from the thousands of other 1979 quarters that were minted. Another error to look out for is the off-center strike, which happens when the coin isn't perfectly aligned when it's struck by the minting press. This misalignment can lead to a coin that has part of the design missing or misaligned, which creates a visually distinctive coin. Off-center strike errors, while not common, are very valuable because of how rare they are. If you manage to find a 1979 quarter with this kind of minting flaw, you could be holding onto something worth a significant amount. Of course, it's not just about errors. The overall condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its value. Coins that are well preserved, with minimal signs of wear, can be worth much more than their circulated counterparts. If you happen to have a 1979 Washington quarter that looks as though it has just come out of the minting press, it will be far more valuable than a quarter that has been through years of handling and use. The higher the grade, the more money it could fetch in the market. For instance, a coin that falls into the uncirculated category, which means it shows no signs of wear or damage, is going to have a much higher market value than one that has been heavily circulated. In fact, an uncirculated 1979 Washington quarter could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on its condition. But if your quarter has a minting error or is in near-perfect condition, that price could skyrocket. Now, for the moment you've been waiting for. You might be wondering, how much could a 1979 Washington quarter be worth? Well, as we've mentioned, it all depends on the condition of the coin and whether it has any rare errors. If you happen to find a 1979 Washington quarter in mint condition or with one of those valuable minting errors, you could see the price soar. And now for the big reveal: the potential value of a 1979 Washington quarter could be as high as $69,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $69,000. That's the kind of price a rare 1979 quarter can fetch, especially if it's been well preserved or features an error. Imagine stumbling upon a coin like that in your collection or coming across one in your spare change. It could be a life-changing discovery. So, don't just discard those old quarters or leave them sitting in a drawer. Take the time to carefully examine them, because you could be holding onto a rare find that could be worth thousands. Before we wrap up, let me remind you to keep an eye out for those special coins, whether they're from 1979 or any other year. With the right condition and the right error, your coins could become valuable collector's items that bring in a substantial return. Today's video is going to be right up your alley. We're taking a closer look at a coin that might not seem like much at first glance but could hold significant value if you know what to look for: the 1965 Washington quarter. If you've got one of these coins lying around, it could be worth a lot more than its face value, so stick around as we break down its history, design, and most importantly, its worth. The 1965 Washington quarter is a part of a historic time for American currency. The 1960s were a period of transition in the U.S. economy, and this quarter stands as a piece of that history. At this point, the U.S. was dealing with the aftermath of World War II and the onset of the Cold War. There were significant changes happening in American society, and the mint was also undergoing changes, especially in the realm of coin production. One of the key shifts in 1965 was the change in the composition of U.S. coins. Prior to 1965, quarters were made of 90% silver, but the rising costs of silver led the U.S. Mint to change the metal content of its coins. The 1965 Washington quarter, along with other coins from this era, was produced with a composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel, which was a drastic change from the previous silver quarters. This change was made to control the rising costs of minting and keep up with the economic challenges of the time. So, what makes the 1965 Washington quarter special today? It's not just the historical context or the change in metal composition that makes this coin valuable, it's also the condition and any potential errors that could make it stand out to collectors. As with any coin, the key to its value lies in its rarity and its condition. Although millions of 1965 quarters were minted, finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition is rare. The vast majority of these coins were used in daily transactions, which means they likely show signs of wear and tear. If you manage to find a 1965 quarter that has been well preserved over the years, you may have a highly valuable piece of currency. One of the reasons the 1965 Washington quarter is so valuable is that certain coins from this year have been known to have minting errors. Minting errors can happen during the production process when the coin is struck incorrectly, resulting in a coin that's unique and sometimes highly sought after. For example, One of the most valuable types of errors you might find on a 1965 Washington quarter is the dropped letter error. This occurs when a letter or design element doesn't appear properly due to a flaw in the die used to strike the coin. Additionally, you may come across a 1965 quarter that has an off-center strike, which is another type of error that makes a coin more valuable. When the coin isn't aligned properly with the minting press, it can lead to a design that is partially missing or off-center. This makes the coin visually striking and unique, making it especially desirable to collectors. Another potential factor that can increase the value of the 1965 Washington quarter is its grade. Coin grading is a way of determining the condition of a coin, and it plays a major role in its value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect, flawless coin. A 1965 quarter that is graded as uncirculated, meaning it has no visible signs of wear and retains its original shine, will be much more valuable than a heavily circulated coin. Now that we've covered some of the details about the 1965 Washington quarter, let's talk about how much it could actually be worth. While most of these coins are still relatively inexpensive due to their abundance, the ones that are in exceptional condition, or those with rare minting errors, can fetch a high price. In fact, depending on the coin's condition, errors, and grade, a 1965 Washington quarter could be worth thousands of dollars. But now, the big question: how much could a 1965 Washington quarter be worth? If you have a 1965 quarter that is in near-perfect condition or features a rare minting error, it could be worth $74,000. That's right, $74,000. It's amazing to think that a coin with a face value of just 25 cents could be worth such a significant amount of money. If you happen to come across one of these rare quarters, you could be looking at a small fortune. Of course, the key to finding a high-value 1965 Washington quarter is careful inspection. Look closely at the condition of the coin, and keep an eye out for any minting errors that could make it stand out from the crowd. The more unique the coin, the higher its potential value. So, whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, it's worth taking a second look at any 1965 quarters you come across. Before we wrap up, I want to remind you that coin collecting isn't just about making money, it's also about preserving a piece of history. Coins like the 1965 Washington quarter are not only valuable because of their rarity or condition, but they also tell a story about the time in which they were made. Whether you're collecting coins as a hobby or as an investment, every coin has its own unique story to tell. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins and their potential value, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting! And who knows, the next 1965 Washington quarter you find might just be worth $74,000.